So the question is, who is hot on the block? Well, I can tell you now that there are a lot of people who would agree with the guest that we have today being the hottest man on the block right now, because he's a prolific actor and he certainly has a way of putting through his ability as somebody else, which is freakish on many levels. Having to be somebody else constantly and making an entire living out of it. But that's the story. Let's welcome the phenomenal Bonko Khoza. Good morning, bro.
Good morning, bro.
Are you good?
I'm blessed, bro. I'm blessed. I'm here, which is a blessing on its own.
Yeah?
And I'm alive, and I'm happy, I'm healthy. I'm a dad, I'm married, what else can I ask for?
That in itself sounds like an entire movie or drama series. Like, okay, the wife is there, the kids are there, you know, you got the career. Maybe there should be a Bonko Khoza docu of sorts.
Yeah.
That just, captures everything you've just explained now.
Yeah, man. And God would be the director.
Oh, absolutely.
God would really be the director.
Yeah.
I think we're all channels of something divine at any particular point in life. And I think that was my little piece of divinity. This is my little piece of divinity, and I'm just grateful, bro.
You've done a lot of incredible acting work in the roles that you've performed, whether it was on The Wife, Find Mr. Right, The Brave Ones, and now my favorite, Red Ink. What do you do all that you do for? And I know that changes over the years, but right now, what do you do what you do for?
I think right now it really is to push the envelope for myself artistically while still kind of delivering a buyable product and really making my parents proud. And, that for a long time was the biggest thing, because being an artist or being a creative was it's this thing where your parents are like, huh?
Yeah.
You want to do what?
Yeah, and you're going to make money how?
And you're going to make money how? But I think through the faith of my parents and the support of my amazing wife, we've been able to make this thing something tangible and something really, really visible. Yeah. So right now, man, I think it's just for my family. I do it for my family.
Sure.
I do it for, they are cold fans. But for me, they're really supporters and family and people who walk this journey with me. As much as, I was saying on the live earlier that as much as people consider us celebrities or these kind of public figures, at any moment, this thing could have went differently. I would be the guy next to you in the taxi. I would have been the guy passing the fall,
Or maybe the taxi driver on the wife.
You understand?
So what then was it that made sure that this is the avenue, the path that you ultimately found yourself on? Because like you say, in life, you could have ended up anywhere.
Look, so I come from an art background, right? So I was in art school in high school. So already by then you have this kid who's like, I like being creative. And I was a painter back then, right? But I shared this space or the school with so many other artists, whether they were musicians or dancers and actors. So I think from then there was always this thing of being creative, cultivating creativity in you, art. And then I think after leaving high school, it was like, okay, you're not gonna forsake the 5 years of high school doing this one thing and suddenly go do law or do engineering or something. So there was always the question of the inquiry of how can I make a living out of this? And
sure.
Most people would know, through if you do some research about me, that acting wasn't the first thing. I left school trying to be a designer. I got into radio as well for a little bit. I do voiceovers. So yeah, I used to rap, used to do music. But it was always just the question of how do I be creative for a living?
Sure.
And I think acting kind of found me, or either the culmination of all of those things kind of came together in this soup called acting.
Yeah, it sounds like everything that you did prior to that almost set you up and gave you pretty much what you needed to become what you are. The only thing I need is to find your rap songs from way back when?
SoundCloud, bro.
Maybe your first recording. Send me the link. Let me hear what's going on there.
You gonna play it on radio? Yes.
This
is crazy.
What was your stage name at the time?
My stage name was Cosmo, bro. Cosmo MC.
Oh, so is that because I think is Cosmo your second name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you use your second name as a rap name.
So my clan name is Mkatini, and Mkatini is the stars.
Yes.
Right. So the cosmos. Yeah.
Yo, no, this man is deep, eh? But I like it.
Thank you, bro. Yeah. I'm gonna please get the SoundCloud.
Yeah,
Nana.
please. We need to. And is it clean or?
Yeah. It's clean.
All
it's
right,
clean.
perfect. Okay, we're going to try and see what we can do before you duck. Maybe we'll play it on air for a couple of seconds. Who knows? Bonko Khoza joins me in studio. He's currently Napoleon Dingiswayo. They didn't chase him away. He just ended up being locked up for all these misdemeanors as a serial killer. Joining me in studio, he is hot on the block. His name is Bonko Khoza. Currently playing the intense role of Napoleon Dingiswayo. In Red Ink, which is based on a book written by Angela Makholwa? Makholwa, yes.
Yeah,
and it's interesting that this book was put together so long ago, and yet Showmax decided to back the series. First and foremost, I have to say that I saw this kind of character in you long ago.
Thank you. Wait, hold up.
Of Napoleon. I saw it in you long ago.
The serial killer part.
Yes, the role of some other individual or character of that nature.
Anyway.
In The Wife, there are remnants of...
Hey, talk, Mo. I want to hear this.
There are nuances. There are droplets of a really psycho person in your character of Mkhele. And I'm right.
Yeah.
Because you had many sides. And so when you perform those roles, I'm like, okay, so he can take it there.
Yeah.
So I think for me, Red Ink confirms that. And I'm just curious to find out about how you get into a character like that.
Yeah.
What goes into preparing for playing a character who is a serial killer, now incarcerated, and having to get into it? You know, do you end up having to have an interest in serial killers at that level?
Yeah. Look, the crazy story that maybe few or not a lot of people know is that I had been binging serial killer content just in my own life.
Right.
Like, I find it interesting. You know, when you turn on the Discovery Channel or History Channel and they have codes and conspiracies, or I Am a Killer on Netflix. I love that stuff.
Why?
You know? I don't know. It's just interesting.
Okay.
And I think maybe because I'm an actor, I like to kind of find out about other people, and you know, especially when the stories are quite interesting.
Sure.
Even now, I'm so caught in the Thabo Bester thing on Showmax. I just love it. So I had been binging that stuff in my own capacity for a very long time. Particularly the show called I Am a Killer on Netflix. I watched all seasons in a week, like 6 seasons in 1 week. And then Red Ink came. So for me, it was the universe saying, yeah, you like to watch, now do.
This is where you belong.
Yeah, or like, let's see you put that information into practice.
Sure.
And yeah, man, I think in terms of preparation for the character and for the role, I try to give every character its own commitment and its own unique process. I know with Mkhele, I put on a little bit of a method actor kind of thing where I was kind of living as the character for a certain period. But with Red Ink, obviously he's in prison, you can't really do that, so that all those documentaries really came in handy.
Sure.
But what I could do in my own capacity was research and losing weight. I lost about 15 kilos for
this role.
Yeah.
Wow.
For Napoleon. And I think the most interesting thing is that in my own creative kind of journey, I'm always interrogating the polarities of the human kind of nature, right? So if we say Mo's a good guy on script, I'm gonna push to see where he's not a good guy. Right? So I'm gonna push to the corners where Mo's alone and maybe he he does weird things when he's alone,
Sure.
and bring that into the script or into the character.
So, I mean, there's a lot of depth that you put into understanding. I suppose you could never really know what it's like to be a serial killer unless you're one and we don't know.
Yeah.
You know, but there's a lot of work that had to go into that
Yeah.
at depth, and I'm getting the sense of that as well. I mean, there's a scene, and I'm a couple of eps in, right? And please don't spoil the rest for me, and I don't want to spoil it for the listener, but there's a scene.
He dies. I didn't say who. I didn't say who, bro.
Oh no, there is a prisoner that dies
Yeah, you're right.
by your hand.
Yeah.
And there's that shower scene.
Yeah.
Right? And it was so intense because right after that moment, then you go and you kind of like carry on with your shower. I don't want to ruin anything. But that was such a powerful moment. And I think that almost summarized the nature of the character you play in Napoleon. Brilliantly done.
Thank you,
Brilliantly shot, by the way.
Thank you,
I mean,
thank
it's such a brilliant show. It really is.
Zeno Peterson behind the camera. He shot Shaga Ilembe, and he did a great job on Red Ink.
Sure. So do check it out on Showmax. It's absolutely brilliant, and it's difficult to chat about the show without spoiling it.
Yeah.
But what I can say is that there are many different characters that are really, really interesting, that are worth following on the show outside of Napoleon, and even your double or half or mirror version, whatever you want to call it. See, I don't want to spoil it.
Go ahead, bro. All episodes are out right now on Showmax. Guys, go check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
His name is Bonko Khoza, well-known South African actor from The Wife, Find You Mr. Right, The Brave Ones, and even this film that's currently on called Heart of the Hunter.
#1, second week in a row worldwide.
I think I saw Connie Ferguson talking about that on Instagram, and I was just like, yeah, brilliantly done.
Yeah.
Brilliantly done. And of course, my favorite binge right now is Red Ink. You spoke a lot about who you do what you do for.
Yeah.
And you spoke a lot about your wife and the kids.
Yeah. Kid.
Yeah. What's the role of the wife in your life?
My wife
Yeah.
or the show?
Your wife.
My particular wife? Yo, my wife is my best friend. My wife is my rock, my pond in when the river's moving. She's my lovely lagoon that gives me peace. And yeah, man, she's amazing. Literally, she's amazing. She's smarter than me in every way. She's more patient than me in every way. And a lot of the good traits that I have, I get from my wife.
Such as?
Patience. Patience, kindness. I mean, like she really puts me on the right path. I think if I were to be my own on this journey, God knows where this car would have went. But my wife is the brakes and safety belt and the lovely GPS on this thing, giving it a sense of direction. You know?
I love the way you put it, because it goes without saying that what you do for a living is demanding, in terms of at your own personal level. But if you are in a marriage setup, for example, like you are, even on the marriage itself, because it's about time away from the marriage, doing what you love.
Yeah.
So it does, I would imagine, take a lot to keep you going, to keep you motivated.
Yeah.
But what I'm also curious about is the critiquing. Does she ever critique you? Does she ever like say, no, but baby man, well, I don't know what she calls you, so let me not act like I'm there in the bedroom every day, because I ain't. But does she play like a role in keeping you in check at that level?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. My wife and I met at drama school.
Right.
So she's an actress, equally as qualified as I am. And I mean, she worked more in the theater space, and I was trained in the theater, but I never ever worked in the theater. So we kind of branched out in the two different sides of the industry. But yeah, she does. I mean, we built Mkhele together.
Tell me how you mean by that?
So we understood that Mkhele is this charming guy. And most guys don't know what's charming from a woman's perspective.
Okay.
So I can credit to how women react to that character, because I had a woman actively working on that charm. Yeah. So she would let me know of what is receptive, palatable to women as charming and sweet, and so she built it from a woman's perspective. So it was almost like Mkhele maybe worked for women because it was made by another woman.
That's actually powerful. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
The role play before the role play.
Yeah. So she let me know, like, do this, do that. Girls like this, do that. You know,
Sure.
because that's the thing. Us as guys, we approach women and we're thinking, man, baby, whatever you're doing, you thinking it works, right?
Yeah.
But often we never hear from women what they really like when a guy approaches them or walks up to them.
Sure.
And my wife is there to carve that and to help me build that. And yeah, even as the show was ongoing, we had built the character and we would often skip to my scenes and say, we said, do this, you're not doing it the way. Do it this way. So we'd have an active review of the character and be like, this is working, do it like this, do it like this, do it like this. Even the whole thing of kissing with his eyes open.
Yeah.
It was very intentional because Mkhele is not a guy to have been, as much as we built him charming and loving, he's not one to kind of fall into this.
Yeah, and get really into it. It's
No,
like,
no, he was always kind of.
I'm watching you.
I'm watching.
You say you're psycho. Kissing with eyes open. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah. No, that was all intentional.
But this is beautiful because what I hear here is a wife who's invested so much into her husband for the benefit of the unit and the union, and that is something truly beautiful. So kudos to that.
I'm blessed, bro.
Kudos to that.
Very grateful.
All right, Bonko Khoza, he's got the block hot on 947.
Mo Flava on 947.